potential MCU Phase 4 leak. This is going to be interesting. So, Mitch, what are the leaks saying out there? What do we got?
Right, well, it's huge. Like a couple of them match up with what we talked about last week with Guardians, Doctor Strange. Like, they go into a bit more about the Doctor Strange one. Like, apparently, it's going to have scenes in the 1980s, but I don't know how. Like, unless he can time travel without a time stone, or he makes a time stone whole again. But
weird. I mean, it's magic. Technically,
I mean, there is that, but like, can he travel back in time? We don't know. According to this, apparently he can. There's times you've got Shang-Chi, and apparently, like, I don't know how credible it is, but it's just that there's a lot that matches up with other stuff. But it says the Mandarin is rumored to be Shang-Chi's father, and that kind of puts me off this entire thing. Which I think we said that from the start.
Oh yeah,
so you just get rid of Fu Manchu and put in the Mandarin or something. It says Eternals, Richard Madden's going to be Icarus. I think we kind of already knew that. Yep. Black Widow, interestingly enough, it says that Florence Pugh, or however you pronounce her name, P-U-G-H, is going to be Yelena Belova.
Also the Black Widow? Huh.
Yeah. So it's a case of, like, is that actually going to be a prequel now? Or is it going to be like a half and half?
Right.
I don't know.
Oh, that would be really interesting if they just create a new Black Widow. They talk about Romanoff a little bit, but actually it's a story of a new Black Widow.
I mean, it'd be nice if you could bridge the gap, so if it is a prequel and we see her, but then if we're flashing forward to modern day and we see her kind of, today, and she does join the team, that would be kind of cool. Like,
So that's one thing, but like, I think they have to kind of do something like that, because you can't just chuck a prequel in there to start Phase 4.
No, you can't.
Like, that's a crazy way of just carrying. Especially after this now, like, everyone wants to know what's next, so why go backwards?
Right.
Yeah, especially a character who's been falling. So.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like, especially when Eternals is going to be like a semi-prequel as well. It'd be a bit weird to have two.
Yeah, it's kind of like, hey, we want to show you Phase 4, but you better wait till another 2 years.
He's like pre-Iron Man 2. No. Far From Home, it says Mysterious from Parallel Dimension. We kind of know that. Well, we think we know that. It says he's a criminal controlling the elementals to masquerade as a hero to like usurp Iron Man, because obviously there's a bit of a power void at the minute. Oscorp is to buy the Stark Tower, which matches up with another leak.
Yeah.
It says Chris Pratt has several more movies left.
Okay, so
that can be very easy to explain, because if they're going basically as Guardians of the Galaxy, and we have a 1 and 2, have a 3, but then actually shift it into as Guardians of the Galaxy, and they add more members.
I also think Guardians lends itself to rotating members, as we've seen in 2 movies so far. So, like,
well, as it said, like, we know the team's completely different after Endgame.
Yep.
And this, like, go back to last week as well with a little bit of a leak we had. It says again, like, Moondragon's going to be here. And James Gunn has teased Quasar, and this says about Quasar. Apparently, Beta Ray Bill is going to be like the high evolutionary planet stuff as well, which makes sense. You could quite easily go, right, this is the last Guardians team or Guardians movie. We're then going to do an Annihilators movie.
Yeah.
Or an As Guardians. Like, there's plenty of space teams you can do to carry that franchise going forward, and just have Quill be the front man of it all.
I think that's kind of a good idea. And when it comes to, like, Star-Lord having more of a, role and kind of being up front, it kind of makes sense to me. I mean, not an insult to him, but he's not Chris Evans, Robert Downey, or even, like...
Not even Chris Hemsworth,
right,
honestly.
He's not at that level. He hasn't had his own, look, he's the spotlight guy, right? So his contract is probably cheaper, and they can keep him on the front. Yeah, but I mean the MCU.
Yeah.
So
he's a great character to have a supporting cast. And I feel like that's how they have to keep Quill, and they have to keep Chris Pratt. It's not him who always shines. It's the supporting cast that helps bring him up. So I feel like that's going to be a great way for them to continue doing it. And if he's going to have multiple movies, Guardians is probably going to come, and you never know. Maybe Captain Marvel 3, we have whoever the new Guardians are team up with her, and they go and do space stuff.
Right, because remember, Kevin Feige's even said, from now on, we do team-ups. There's always going to be like a guest stars or something in these movies. So I mean, Star Wars showing up in maybe like a Nova movie or something, that would make sense to me. Like,
I mean, do it. I want like Richard Rider and Quill.
yeah,
I've been missing that for years. So.
yeah, that would be. There's untapped potential there, so makes sense to me. What else they got in that giant league?
You got Chris Hemsworth has renewed his contract for several more movies.
Yeah.
Expected to appear in both Guardians 3 and Thor 4. We've heard rumblings of Thor 4, which if you're going to have a fourth one, Thor's probably the best one to do it. It says Norman Osborn's going to be main antagonist for that. We'll get onto a bit more later about the grounded side of the MCU going forward. So, you know, I think that's clearly like a Sinister Six, Dark Avengers.
Yeah.
I'll be so happy.
Obviously, that all depends if like Sony re-up the contract, but I think there's not even a worry about that.
Here's the thing: looking at this potential, you know, Phase 4 leak. I mean, the films that are leaking that are quote unquote confirmed in this leak are all factual. Like, we know we're getting Guardians 3, we know we're getting Shang-Chi, we know we're getting Eternal. So it's like, well, you know, it's like that's kind of the thing about it. It's like everything we know is like what's coming in the next 2 to 3 years. We know nothing beyond that because we don't even have dates beyond that because Disney's made it a very clear statement. I mean, like, we're only talking for the next couple of years. So it's like, well, all right. Like, it's...
Like, you know that Disney has the next 10 years planned, but I think that because of what happened with Spider-Man, and they were like, hey, here's our next, like, 5 to 10 years, then Spider-Man gets thrown in, and we're like, oh, well, hold on, throw everything in the air. Yeah. So it's a lot smarter for them to only do it in smaller increments just in case something big happens.
Or some plans change, yeah.
But like the entire slate they have here is Black Widow, The Eternals, Black Panther 2, Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange 2, Nova, Guardians of the Galaxy, Volumes 3, plans for Thor 4, Ant-Man 3, Captain Marvel 2, New Avengers, Young Avengers, Dark Avengers.
Oh boy, well,
which
I guess we'll get to those in due time. But,
so Phase 5 then is possibly then mutants.